My fellow becomers, hello everyone. How have you been? How has the journey been? I hope you've been getting value for your time spent on the channel, irrespective of which of the videos you get to watch. In the part one of this video, we're talking about beautiful things out of the dark. You talking about your stories and the things that you go through that are stepping stones, that are blocks to your journey. Today, we're going to be talking about how you are preparing for that journey. Now let's go to a woman again, as we used in the previous one, a woman who is expecting a child. What did she do? She knows she's expecting a child. She starts to prepare. She goes to buy things that are beautiful. She goes to the hospital to register for her to be checked every time to ensure that the baby is growing well. Now on your journey, what are you doing? You need to start preparing. You need to start doing things intentionally. You need to go take that course. You need to start developing yourself. You need to read books. You need to journal. You need to stand out there, because you know what? It is your journey. So I'm going to tell you about my pregnancy journey. I have two children. First is a boy, second is a girl. For the boy, my husband wasn't available for that delivery, and I spent more money. I spent more days because he had jaundice. I spent more time in the hospital. My labor was longer because a lot of things were not put in place before then. But come to think of it, my second journey, my husband said, I'm going to be here for this baby. I'm going to make sure that we are available. We're going to pay less and we're going to be discharged in less than 24 hours. I had my labor for my first son. The labor started from Wednesday, 6 p.m. and I finally gave birth 12:05 a.m. on Thursday. Now for my girl, my boy wasn't feeling well and we were admitted. He was in the hospital. Due date wasn't there, but I was like, if anything happens, I might as well carry my hospital bag. So we were admitted on Thursday as well. So I stayed there Friday, Saturday. I just sat out by the door and one of the nurses, bless her, said, madam, you're still taking your big tummy here. What's happening? When are you due? I said, I don't know. Or can you just check? Let me just be sure that, I'm not in labor. But I wasn't feeling anything. And she said, okay, I'll just call the doctor. Let's see. And before you knew it, she said, I'm done with my shift, but let's see what I can do. This was happening at about past 3 on that Saturday afternoon. And she called on the doctor. Doctor checked me. You're 4 cm dilated. You're not going out anymore. Tell your husband to bring the things for your child. I'm like, wow, okay, is that how it happens? And I said, okay, that's fine. Now to do so, the nurse came and said, oh, you're in labor now. There's nothing I can do. So you're going to stay. And I said, no, you're going to stay with me until I have my baby. She said, no, this is already 5. How are we going to do it? It's going to take long. I need to go back to like, nope. I'm going to have my baby under 1 hour, because that is what my husband said, that I'm going to have my baby under 1 hour. We prayed about it. We followed through. And she said, how is that going to happen? I said, I don't know, but I know in 1 hour I'm going to have my baby. What time do you want to go? She said 6. I said, tell your husband you're going to be there at 6. And so she did. And she sat beside me and that journey began. And to be honest, at 6:05, I had my daughter. Now this is my husband speaking, me believing in what he had said, standing through. They took me back to where my son was, because the room had 2 beds. And my husband said 24 hours. And 9 a.m. they came for a ward round. And guess what? Doctor said, oh, madam, you're strong. What's going on? You've been discharged. And you know what? On Sunday, I went home with my baby. And my daughter didn't have jaundice. She didn't have any complications. And I have my 2 children. So now back to our story. Beautiful things from the dark. I had that baby. But the journey, I had to do some things intentionally. I had to get my husband was involved. He was there and saw the delivery. He spoke words. Now you're pregnant. Are you speaking to that seed? I will speak to pregnant women. You are respecting the baby. Are you reading books concerning your child? Or you just want to have a child because you're pregnant or because you're a woman? What seed are you sowing into that child? Your children hear your voice. Start sowing in that seed. Start speaking. Get your partnership with your husband. Let him speak, because their words, he's your covering. So any prayer you're making, God will always answer your husband's prayer. And I had a smooth journey, because you know what? I decided to get my husband fully involved. Back to the builders. A building, before it's erected, you need to get some people involved. A contractor, architect, all the materials you need to ensure that building, the diggers, the excavators and everything. Those are things on the journey. Those are things you need to prepare. Why? Because you know the goal. What is that goal you have for yourself? Where do you see yourself in some 5-10 years time? It depends on what you're doing now that will ensure that you see that vision come to life, come to reality. What is that thing you're betting? What is that seed? The greatness of the seed you have determines the kind of preparation you're going to prepare. Just like a builder, if they're going to build up a 7-story building, the depth and the foundation of that building is going to be different from somebody that's just building a bungalow. Get intentional with what you're doing. Do you need to take courses? Do you need that education? Do you need to read books? Do you need to make mentors? Mentorship cannot be overemphasized. You need a mentor for every journey you are going through. Parenting, academics, career, your child's education, anything you're doing, you need a mentor. A success without a successor, it's no success. And I'm sure you want to be successful. But you know what? Your children are looking at you. Your children are watching. People are watching. See yourself as a role model. And the way you take yourself, the way you take things, it's going to change. I am a role model. And everywhere I go, I see myself as a role model. Whether I know it or not, more people know me than I know. Because it comes to light when I was in Uniport, when I was still studying. I was an usher. You know, you're going to be in school and people will be like, oh, I know you. You're an usher. Ooh, okay, that's fine. I didn't know them. So I'm telling you today, your preparation determines how you're going to see your seed come to reality. Keep your eyes focused on the end of that beautiful seed, on the end of that beautiful journey, on the end of that beautiful structure. Let everything you do be intentional. On your journey of becoming, as you prepare, time is of the essence. Don't think you have forever to make some things, to make some decisions. Just like a woman, she knows it's just 9 months. So in that 9 months, she needs to prepare her hospital bag. She needs to go for antenatal. She needs to look for the right hospital. She needs to ensure that her house is ready and arranged before the child comes. What are you doing today to ensure that your beautiful story is out there to be heard, to be able to bless someone? Start doing that. Time is of the essence. You can't buy time. What am I telling you today? Be intentional as you nurture that seed. Be intentional as you gather your story. Be intentional as you go through that healing process. Be intentional as you unlock all the things you need to do. It's time for you to unlearn, learn, and relearn. Some things you might have to change, some ways you might have to change. But you know what? It's time for us to step out there and become better versions of ourselves. Something beautiful is going to come out of that dark story. Something beautiful is going to come out of that dark seed. Something beautiful is in there. Let it sprout, just like the lovely trees are sprouting. Come on, are you becoming? What journey are you walking on? Let's hold you accountable. Welcome to the Hub. This is an online platform where we can reach out to you. The email is out there. Ensure you subscribe. Ensure you turn on the notification button and comment that you have heard from this short video that has given you the push, the motivation to step out there and become a better version of yourself. I am rooting for you. Your story is valid. There's always space out there at the top. Come out and let's do this together. Someone out there is waiting for you. Will you be the one to stop yourself? Don't do that to yourself. Come out and let's hear your story. I am yours truly, Ambassador Rosita, representing all of the Becomers Tribe. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.